What's happening, YouTube? Back in the day gamer here. Thanks for tuning into my channel for this episode of What's Happening YouTube. I think we got a good one today. There's lots to talk about and it's quality over quantity. So let's get into it. So to get us started today, we're gonna crack open a cold one. I was at the store and I saw this and immediately I thought to myself, cotton candy brandy. You thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Big Mouth. You guys watch the show Big Mouth, right? If you don't, you need to. It's on Netflix. It's one of the raunchiest, most hilarious shows you'll ever see. Not even gonna get into that now. It's a whole nother episode in itself. Big Mouth on Netflix. Gotta watch it.
Cotton candy brandy?
Yeah, my dad defended the guy who created it. The first booze made for kids, by kids.
And that's what this is. Just look at this. Bear-y white. It's gummy bear beer. Look at it. It's got gummy bears all over the can. The top is pink. This is geared towards kids. Essentially, I'm a big kid, and immediately when I saw this, I had to have it, and I can buy it myself. If I wasn't a kid, who knows what I would steal to get my hands on this? That's not true. That actually didn't pop very much. It doesn't taste like gummy bears. It's really bland. I expected something else, but it's not terrible. It's got a hint of sweet to it. It's gummy bear beer. Doesn't taste like gummy bears. Okay, we wasted enough time on this shit. Video games. That's what essentially we're here for. And this was a doozy of a couple of weeks. Let's start off with... I had one sip. Dropping shit already. Alright, we're gonna start off with this one. This is a new Sega Genesis game. I'm gonna have to put a link below because I fucked up and didn't do my homework and I can't remember the company, but Dongled did a video where he interviewed the guy that owns the company that made these games. They looked really interesting. I ordered 2 of them, and this is one. It's called The Curse of Illmore Bay. Okay, that's not good. We'll get some B-roll. This game kicks ass. I mean, you know, the 3 things you look for in a game: graphics, soundtrack, controls. They're all there. The graphics, A+. Super spectacular. Extra pleased. I mean, all those things are a factor. Soundtrack means the least to me because a lot of times I'm jamming, but graphics, ooh, shiny. That usually catches my eye. That's what caught my eye on this. That's why I paid attention. That's why I got it. The graphics, A+, they kick ass. The soundtrack, kick ass. I am not a huge video game soundtrack enthusiast, so I'm sure there's people that are like, oh, the Genesis sound chip, it has much more capability. I don't know. I thought the tunes in this paired really well with the levels. They sounded great. I really like the soundtrack as well. The controls, they're great. They're not perfect, but they are fun. Essentially, this game, I mean, it's a platformer where you gotta find the key to open the door to get out of the level to essentially fight the boss battle. I'm a big boss battle fan. This game has lots of them. Now, I'm working on a review of this game, which I am nearly done with, but I can't beat the damn end boss. So, I can't finish the review until I beat the guy. I had to take a break because I spent a couple days playing the damn end boss. I can't do it. So, we're almost there. We're real close. Obviously, getting, grinding farther and farther, but man, it's tough. The rest of this game was not terribly tough. There was spots where it's like one board would be hard as hell, and then I would just coast through the next 2, and then it's like one board is hard as hell, and then the next one's easy, which I thought was kind of annoying, but also kind of good. So I was getting fed up, thought the game was going to be too hard, then I coast through the next level. But anyhow, Curse of Illmore Bay. Order this for yourself. It's kick-ass. I did order another game from this company, which there'll be a link in the description below, that I'm even more excited about, but that's the game that came first. I got an email that they did ship the other game, so hell, it could be in my mailbox right now. I haven't gone there. Then, when I was taking a break, I've been doing quality over quantity on my collecting and my playing. I've never beat Super Mario Bros. 2. Until now! Maybe back in the day I did, but I can't recall for sure. Maybe I watched someone beat it and thought I did, but I'm rather certain that I never did. But regardless of that, I beat it now. Now I'm gonna lay this on ya. I don't care for Super Mario 3 that much. It's a good game, but it's not my favorite of the series. This one is. I know, crucify me, right? Send me to the gallows! He doesn't like Super Mario 3! It's not in my top 10 list at all. Yeah, it's a great game, but I don't know. Overhyped, don't like it. Super Mario 2 is my favorite, whether it's actually not a Mario game or not. This cartridge has Mario on it, and it says Super Mario 2. That's a Mario game to me. I really like this one. And to be honest, the final boss, whatever his name is, the warp toad guy, that's one of my favorite boss battles of all time. Everything about it was great. It was tough, but not impossible. It was fun. I liked the way it looked. I really liked the way he looks. The room itself was great, but that's a killer boss. Super Mario 2, my favorite of the series. Checked it off. And, well, let's skip that one. Let's jump over to, I wanted to hit this first when I cracked open the beer, but I was excited about those. The soundtrack for the back in the day gamer game room. This week was Judas Priest. Okay, I went to my local spot who I've been purging my collection to. It's a new spot. He doesn't have many games, so I'm like just selling him the shit I don't want because I have a lot of it. Right now it's quality over quantity. If I don't really care and I'm not gonna play it, I don't want it anymore. Oh look, my wife's here with the dog and the kid. How convenient, right in the middle of my video. Real quick. See everybody? He's still angry. Oh, where's my mommy? And mommy grabs him and he stops instantly. Thanks. Thanks, son. So, I went to the local spot, took in some other stuff for him. He doesn't have much, so I just keep trading it in. Who knows if I'll ever use the trade. I said, you know what? I'm going to use some trade. I haven't bought an album in a while. Been on this big 80s rock kick. So, you know, I just go looking through some stuff. The stuff I picked up is my pickups, but I snagged a Judas Priest album. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go through all these. You know, maybe I don't like the ones I have. I can sell a couple of them, blah, blah, blah. Wrong! All the Judas Priest albums are awesome. We won't spend too much time on this because I know a lot of you are like, Judas Priest, what the hell? But they rock, okay? So, I went in order from dates they came out, right? So we're starting with, originally recorded 1986, Turbo Lover, okay? Or this is just Turbo is the name of the album, Turbo. Song number 1, Turbo Lover, my favorite Judas Priest song. Kick ass. Every now and then they play it on the radio. Not very often. You know, you hear, you got another thing coming and whatever, but the songs you hear on the radio that much I don't care for as much as some of the more obscure ones. Turbo Lover, you know, if you're a rocker, you know that one. But that's my favorite Judas Priest song, okay? Ram It Down, the next album. So that one was 86. This one is 88. This one-upped that album. I was like, oh, I mean, I've listened to these. They're mine, but I haven't listened to them in order. So then we go to Painkiller, which is in '90, and song number 1, Painkiller, that's my new favorite Judas Priest song. Holy shit. This album is super heavy. Like, you know, Judas Priest, yeah, they wear leather and they're, you know, it's rock, but it's more kind of 80s rock. You know, they're not hair metal, but he screams, so you kind of categorize it that way. But Painkiller is a heavy, heavy album, and I was surprised. I mean, I obviously have listened to it before, but listening to them in a row, Painkiller comes up, and that song, that's my new favorite Judas Priest song now, Painkiller. I wish I could be jamming it in the background without a copyright strike, but then I busted out, I've got the best of Living After Midnight, and it's live. And it sounds so damn good. You can't, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and it's not live, but I think it is, but that's also a really good album. I mean, it's the best of, so of course it is, but Turbo Lover and Painkiller. 2 Judas Priest songs that you should go and YouTube right now if you're not hip to it. Which most of you probably aren't. Because there's some younger viewers here and people that don't rock as well. And I would like everyone to rock. So, we've been listening, we've been playing, we've been drinking, what we've been eating? This pile of wonder right here. So, the Kellogg's Jumbo Snacks. We got Fruit Loops, we got Apple Jacks, we got Pops. All 3 of these cereals kick ass, right? I mean, who doesn't like any of those? So they're Jumbo Snacks. Wow, crisis mode. I'm gonna start doing that when I'm hungry or thirsty. You just start yelling. My wife just jumps to it, gets everything. We're gonna give that a try later. Doubt it's gonna work. So as I was saying, right, all 3 of these cereals will kick ass. So Jumbo Snacks, you know, like, yeah, hell yeah, these are gonna be awesome. So, spoiler, I obviously have eaten some of each of them already. Here's what's disappointing. They're not jumbo. That's just a little bigger than the normal size of a Fruit Loop. Like, just a little bigger. When you look on here, it says like, I think somewhere it says 30% larger. Like, so, that's kind of disappointing. But the real question is, do Fruit Loops go good with gummy bear beer? Not really. Before I get into the final topic, Captain Algebra today, May 1st, posted another monthly retro challenge. And, I mean, everybody that watches his channel watches mine. So I'm not telling you anything you didn't know, but he's doing a Game Boy game, Super Mario Land, but he's doing like a no enemy. You're not allowed to kill enemies. Captain, what are you doing? I put it in the comments. I said, well, what are you doing to us? I'm going to go cook dinner and then not eat it, right? Like, I'm going to play this video game and not kill the enemies? The goal is to get Fireball and shoot the enemies. I don't know. I'm going to try it. But challenges are always fun, right? I'll put a link below. I'll put a link below to Captain's video of the monthly retro challenge. Just get involved. Last month was Dr. Mario. That was a lot of fun. But I'm very skeptical. I don't like those. I thought I was getting excited. I thought it was going to be a no death run, but it's a don't kill the enemy run. So, there's Fruit Loops stuck in my teeth. I busted out the old Pandora S5. You know, that plug-in joystick emulator where it's got 1,300 arcade ports in it. A couple years ago I bought one, got them for my nephews. Thing's awesome. I was playing it the other day. Bucky O'Hare, the arcade game. Jammed my way through that. Was kind of not super impressed with this game. It's just straight button masher. There was like no challenge to it. I mean, in the arcade you would have jammed $5 and quarters just to beat the boss itself because he was just damn tough. You needed that many quarters, but I don't know, I was less than impressed with this game. But a game I was impressed with is the Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Mystara, which is also on the Pandora. And I also played through that right after the Bucky O'Hare. But unlike Bucky O'Hare, I was loving it. This game kicks ass. Always love it in the arcade. Always wish I had the cabinet. I'm glad I didn't buy the cabinet now because I have it on the Pandora and it's really small and I can just jam it under the couch instead of having a huge arcade cabinet. But no, it would be nice to have that. It looks great. But this game is kick ass. You all know what I'm talking about. The Red Dragon battle looked phenomenal. One of my favorite battles in an arcade game that I can think about. Played through this one, had a ton of fun. It was challenging, but not too challenging. And you wouldn't have had to dump a shit ton of quarters in this one. So this one, for me, is a solid double thumbs up. We're coming to a triple thumbs up game here. We're going to end the video on this. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, RPG of all time. On the Super Nintendo. Final Fantasy 2. Or 4. It says 2 on here. It's 2, okay? Now back in the day, my buddy lived across the street. The first person I saw that had a Super Nintendo. Brian. What's up, Brian? He's not watching. But we were into RPGs back in the day. He had Final Fantasy on the Nintendo. I didn't call it NES. I don't like calling it NES. But on the Nintendo, he had Final Fantasy. I had Dragon Warrior. Then we moved to Final Fantasy. That game always blew my mind. Then he got a Super Nintendo, and it was like, holy shit, you had Super Mario 1. Now we're playing Super Mario World. Like, whoa! We were playing Final Fantasy 1, then we were playing Final Fantasy 2. And yeah. To this day, this game is still, if not my favorite RPG, one of my favorite RPGs and favorite games. But I'd never beat it. I didn't have it, when I was in 7th or 8th grade when this came out. I didn't have it. It's quite a commitment, long game. So I had a save state on his cart and I would play it, but I never actually beat it myself. Definitely remember him beating it. Well, back in the day, Gamer finally checks this one off the list. Last night, beat it. It was kick-ass. I liked everything about this game. A lot of times in RPGs, you gotta do a ton of grinding. You don't in this game. A lot of times, you get lost. You don't know what the hell you're supposed to do. Well, that almost never happened to me. There was 2 times where I wasn't sure what to do, so I had to go backtrack. The first time, it was throwing the key down the well to open up the underworld. Whoa, I wasn't paying attention. After I backtracked, I figured it out. But it was great to go through a 20-hour game and without a map or guidebook or looking it up, because back in the day, Gamer does not look things up, because back in the day there was no internet. If I happened to look in the Nintendo Power and the answer was there, that's not cheating, because back in the day we had those Nintendo Powers, so that's completely fair. But every now and then I might bend the rules in Marco Polo, like VGM or Do You Nerd, and I say, hey, don't give me the answer, maybe nudge me. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the game. The game was awesome. Now, this was the first instance where a soundtrack was something to me. I mean, before, back in the day, nobody gave a shit about soundtracks. It wasn't a thing. Yeah, it was on, and you listened to it, but you weren't like, oh, the soundtrack on this game. And people that say that back in the day, that was a thing, bullshit. No, it wasn't. You played the game, and playing the game was what you cared about. You were a little kid, the soundtrack didn't mean shit to you. As you get older, you remember it, you're nostalgic for it, you appreciate it. Some of them are awesome, but back in the day, you played the game, and you weren't like, oh, the soundtrack was amazing. And I'm not sorry if I offend people, because if you say that, I think you're full of shit. because kids don't give a shit about the soundtrack or the sound effects. It was just playing the game. Well, this, I mean, I was always a fan of classical music. And, immediately the whole score is awesome, but when you go down into the first cave, it's like this classical orchestra playing. And before that it was just beeps and boops more or less. So I was always damn impressed by that. Graphics are awesome. I mean, it's a turn-based RPG, so the controls don't really come into play, but they are perfect for what they're supposed to be. The story in this game was fantastic, and the ending, it's like 20 minutes long. It's not one of those, thank you saved the princess at the end. There's the story that goes on for a while, and I thought that was impressive. I can't remember a game I've played that has even happened before. No, I can't. I mean, obviously I haven't played every game, but Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo. Yeah. That's where we're going to end it. But I am moving on to Part 3 now, because I've never played Part 3. It didn't interest me. 2 was always the one, but 2 was so fantastic. 3, here I come. So that's all we got here for this episode of What's Happening YouTube. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Make sure you check out Captain Algebra's monthly retro challenge, and check out the link in below for the company that makes those new, that's a Genesis game, but the other one I got coming is a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo game. Check those links out below. It'll be worth it. Till next time, keep it retro.
Keep it retro.
Keep it retro. Keep it retro.